Let's bring him in phenomenal fashion, I gotta say. Joshua Newsom, how you doing?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man?
Really good. Incredible performance, my man.
Appreciate
Congratulations
it.
on that victory right off the top. Raiden running his mouth before, you staying very calm, cool, and collected. You
Yeah.
made him eat his words. How good did that feel, taking home that victory?
It felt great, honestly. Word around the house was he was talking a lot anyway. Some of the producers were telling me, like, man, this guy's he's running his mouth. And I'm like, I'm usually more on the laid back side. I don't really do too much talking. I like to put in the work and then you see the result and you get that. But yeah, that's really not my style. So I love to go up there and do what I said I was gonna do and make him shut up.
I mean, you had a massive slap score advantage going to this one, about 270 different between you and Raiden. Did you know that there was such a discrepancy in the measurables before going into this?
I don't even remember actually seeing my actual slap score until like later watching the actual season and they showing it. I don't know if they showed us, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was such a big difference between the slap scores between me and him.
Gotcha. I'm just curious, what's your walk around weight? Because you seem to be pretty slender for the 185.
Um, 195 maybe. I
Okay.
usually don't go too far from 185. It go to 195, 190. So anytime I gotta do a weight cut, it's really not a weight cut. I just maybe eat one meal today and tomorrow, and I'll be 185 in no time.
Gotcha. So that's kind of where you feel most comfortable. That's where you think we'll see you next.
Yeah, I'll probably stay around 185. I mean, I've always been in the gym consistently. I've always been an athlete, so I've never not worked out in some type of fashion, and this is usually where my weight just stays 85, 90, 95.
Gotcha. Talk to me about Austin Turpin and how much he played into your performance.
Ah, man, I love Turk. I usually don't gravitate towards louder people, but it's hard not to like Turk, man. He gets you hyped. He gets a fire on your ass, and he's just like he makes you want to go out there and act just like him. I couldn't ask for a better coach.
Mhm. One last one from me. Talk to me about performing in the Apex with nobody in the audience. Obviously, Dana's there. Some of his friends and celebrities. We see make appearances throughout the seasons. But talk to me what it's like to be in a fairly silent room as you're performing in one of the biggest moments of your life.
Um, uh, it doesn't really bother me. Like once I got on stage, I've only paid attention to my opponent. Like I used to wrestle in high school, and sometimes the stadium was packed, and sometimes it'd be nothing but the other team and the coaches. So I'm pretty used to it been a lot of people or no people. Either way, I kind of block all of that out, and I'm just focused on doing the job I need to get done.
Josh, great to talk to you, man. Congratulations on a great victory. Obviously,
Appreciate it.
we didn't get to talk to you after the first one. What do you think was the difference for you as far as not only kind of what you knew going in there, obviously it being your first time against Fabricio, but also, obviously two different opponents, but you get a much more emphatic finish in the second one, right? And Raiden's a guy who actually won his first fight. What do you think the major differences were between your first fight and your second fight on the show, even though they were, a week apart?
Probably just practice routine. And then I wouldn't say I was nervous going into the first one, but it is the first one, so you're kind of thinking about everything. We practiced a little bit, but not as much as the time we had between the first fight and the second fight. So just knowing that I went every day and we kind of drilled the technique and drilled the hand placement and all that, so I felt a lot more comfortable in the second one. Like okay, I can throw this slap with full power and be comfortable, and I'm not worried about stepping. I'm not worried about clubbing. It just felt way more comfortable. So I knew the result would be 10 times better.
Yeah, and then talking about your slap, obviously the precision. I made note of this the first time around, and in this sequence against Raiden, the angle that they show was a little different. But I watched it a couple different times and was able to see that it looked like your windup was the same as the first. I've never seen a windup like yours, and what I mean by that is when you pull back, it's almost at a specific cadence, and then you sort of let it go a little bit faster each time you wind up. So it's like you're almost launching it. So it's almost like a mechanical thing. Like you come back and then you launch, and then you come back slowly and then you launch. Where'd you learn that from? What's the thought process
Um,
behind that?
that comes from me throwing discus in high school. Our coach, we had multiple different ways to throw it, but he taught me a specific way to where we had to spin the whole body and engage the hips a lot more. So when I'm doing that, the only thing I'm really doing is rotating my hips as much as possible, and then kind of just releasing them to turn with it. And that's really where that comes from. Just throwing a discus and engaging the hips.
That's incredible insight, man. At one point in time, right after the fight was done, Dana said to you, "Shoulder good," and you kind of paused for a moment, and you were like, "Yeah, yeah, it's all good." What was that about? Is there something that we missed with your shoulder?
No, I didn't have any shoulder injuries or anything. I'm guessing just because I threw a hard slap or something, but it kind of threw me off guard a little bit. But I never had any type of injuries or any type of pain or anything. So I'm guessing he just said it because it was a pretty decent slap.
And then my final one before we kind of look at your fight. Obviously, you're an Army veteran. I don't remember exactly if you said what your MOS was, but what in throughout your career in the Army kind of would you say helped you or prepared you at all, if anything, for your moment up there on stage?
Well, I went in as a military police, but I end up doing about 3 years of being a combat trainer. So um, I train people on how to fight hand to hand, use weapons, and also we did a lot of tournaments, wrestling, striking, and all of that. So I'm pretty used to being one on one, me and you in front of an audience, and may the best man win. So it's kind of pretty much the same thing. It's just obviously it's slapping and study wrestling or boxing or whatever technique we're doing for that drill.
Awesome, man. And then I actually thought of one last one where you're saying that you had a pretty funny reaction last week. If I'm not mistaken, it was last week when Riley put Blake's
Oh man.
Riley put Blake's he put Blake's dentures in his mouth. Talk to us about what we didn't see.
that took me off guard. I heard him say, "Let me put it in," but obviously nobody actually expected him to put that in his mouth. I was like, "Bro, you got to be the nastiest person alive. You put that smoking man's dentures in your mouth." Right? I mean, I love Riley to death. He's me and him in the house were like the closest to. Like he's the one I talk to the most. Man, that part threw me way off.
That was hilarious, man. Thank you for that. All right, Core, let's get into his fight, man.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get your commentary along with the fight. Want to know every kind of what's going through your mind frame as you're getting up there on stage.
Well, honestly, I wasn't nervous at all to take this hit. I've seen him go toe to toe with Neil. I knew he's had to come with way more power to put me out. So I knew I was going to eat this with no problem. The only thing I was thinking about really was making sure I was slowing down on my actual strike so I wouldn't get fouls. So during this, I was already thinking about my turn because I knew this wasn't going to be a problem for me at all.
Yeah, so we see him very slow, deliberate, talking between every strike or every wind up. Like, did it phase you at all?
No, not at all. I'm used to people talking. I mean, it's what people do. You gotta hype yourself up. You gotta be some type of confidence. But I'm a man of results. So,
Core, can you rewind that 15? Like with I don't know if it does allow you on your end. If you hit the little on the left side, yeah, hit that. All right. Now watch this replay and look at Raiden. I didn't see this the first time. I saw comments about it. And I just want to be fair here. He moves a ton. Oh my goodness.
The right foot.
Did you?
I had a lot of people just recently actually hit me in my DMs and like they zoomed in on the video. I'm like, bro, he double stepped on you. I never really noticed that until people started pointing it out to me.
Who do you think hit harder between your two matches?
Definitely Fabricio. I honestly didn't feel anything from Raiden. Fabricio's a much bigger guy. So I mean, one of his hits, I think it was the second one, actually made my ears ring for a few seconds. I didn't do any damage, but I did feel ringing in the ear. But Raiden, it was nothing.
I didn't see that the first time.
Rock the baby.
The Westbrook. I had to pull out something. I was like, man, this guy's talking a lot. Okay, I got to do a little something. I'm usually pretty calm, like, okay, it is what it is. But, all right, you kind of asking for this one.
Dude, this is great to see this side of your personality because, to be honest with you, up until this moment, and obviously the thing with the dentures in the house, we didn't really hear a whole lot from you. So to see like you actually have personality and obviously you have a significant skill set I feel much better, man. I'm a fan.
Appreciate it, man. I know a lot of people are like, man, you're too laid back, you're too calm, you don't talk enough. I was like, man, I can't help it. It's just, I mean, obviously I can talk my shit like everybody else, but it's just pretty rare for me to get into that type of a zone. I've never been the person to have to hype myself up to do something. I can go in calm, cool, collected, and do what I need to do.
Dude, how do you get your hair to go from this to the afro we've seen later?
I had that hairstyle in for too long. Actually, it was starting to lock up. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to take this out here now. And then they had barbers at the house. But I was trying to ask them, maybe can you get somebody that like knows how to braid hair? Like, I don't need a haircut. If you can braid it back, get it out of the way. But it was like, no, we don't have any people to braid. So I was like, fuck it, we'll just go with the fro. Let me get a comb, and here we go.
I was going to say that kind of looked like the the wet dog look or something. I'm not sure what you're going for in that one.
I just picked it out and was like, fuck it, we're gonna go with it. This ain't a beauty pageant. We here to fight, so let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, dude, like Ding said, great to see your personality. Great to see more of it come to life. I mean, you're 2-0 right now. I'm sure you get a ton of confidence in line. Who or what, anybody theoretically you'd like to see next? Obviously, we're going to see it a live event at some point. Is there anybody up there in the rankings that you think you would go up stylistically well against?
As far as anybody in the rankings, not really. Like I'd be happy to go against any of them, but what I think would make more sense for Power Slap itself is probably me and the Chief. Obviously from the show, he's had a lot of hype. I've had a lot of hype. So I mean, after this second match, so I feel like everybody would want to see us two face off from the show after the show ends in a live event. But I'd take anybody from any ranking. I like to start at the lower ranking, honestly, and just work my way all the way up, just so there could be no conversation about, oh, well, you didn't fight this guy, or maybe this guy can do it. I start from 10 and go all the way to 1.
Awesome, man. One last one. Where did you grow up? What part of the country?
I grew up in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
North Carolina? Okay.
Yeah, it's not about an hour from Raleigh. Pretty small place, boring, nothing here but a Air Force base. It's like retired old people.
Gotcha. Are you a Panthers fan?
No, I don't really get into football that much. I like to play football. I've never been a fan of watching it.
Gotcha. All right, man. Appreciate you, dude. Much love. You have a home here anytime. First time you're on, reach out anytime, okay?
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. You guys have a nice day, man.
Take care.
Brother.